Hi, Maddie. I'm so excited to be having this interview with you because I feel like it has been a long time coming. So thank you for being here.
Thanks so much for being here with me. I'm so excited for this conversation.
Me too. So first of all, for the people at home, tell us a little bit about what Angel Alliance actually is.
So Angel Alliance is an NFT collection that empowers female entrepreneurs. And by that, we mean we're going to fund, educate and connect female entrepreneurs. So essentially, we'll be raising funds from our NFT collection, and then that money will go back to female entrepreneurs. And female founders essentially will be able to pitch their businesses to our community, and then our community are going to vote for who we fund. And then once we fund those startups, we'll be taking them through an incubator program, because a big part of like my vision for Angel Alliance, so I actually want to support these female founders. I don't just want to give them the money and then that's it. I want to give them support. So we'll be matching them with a mentor and everything like that, just so we can help these female entrepreneurs scale their business. Because I mean, we've both been there and it can be quite hard, especially at the start.
Yeah.
So, to even understand what you're doing and how to scale a business. So I really want to provide that support. And then as well for people within the community and people that own an NFT, will be hosting educational events. So whether that is hosted by other female entrepreneurs or investors, so like VCs or angel investors, as well as networking events, because I think I've definitely learned the importance of networking, and in a way your network is your net worth.
It is. I love that. And every time I hear about Angel Alliance, even though I obviously know about it, I'm just like, wow, that is so amazing. Like, how is somebody, especially at your age, doing something like this? I mean, how on earth did you even get into NFTs? Because this is such a new space and people don't know a lot about it, and it's scary for a lot of people. It's really, really scary. So tell us a bit about your first experience with Web3 and NFTs.
Yeah, of course. I mean, and especially when I started, I jumped into Twitter and I didn't know what any of the words meant. There's so many acronyms. So if you do jump onto Twitter and see some NFT, I guess, terminology, don't be afraid by it. Everyone starts somewhere. But I actually got into NFTs and Web3 because I kept seeing all these Web3 startup deals pop up through the VC that I work for. And I was like, okay, if we're seeing so many of these deals, maybe I should actually look into this. And so that's kind of when it started. I started doing a little bit of research and then I joined Twitter. And I actually never realized the community behind these NFT projects is, at the start I thought, okay, it's just, a bit of art. But there's actually so much more behind that. And once you jump into, I guess, the whole NFT ecosystem, you honestly can't leave again, especially with all these, I mean, you've experienced like all these incredible women projects, and there's so much community around it. And it is such a male-dominated space, and I think that's why women have really, I guess, come together. And I am very excited to be launching this, I guess, initiative within Web3 because it's such an exciting and fast-moving space to be in.
It is fast-moving. I think I can speak for everybody in the Web3 space because 1 week is basically like an entire year. You can learn so much, and that's why I say to people, don't be too disheartened, because at the end of the day, it is... you pick everything up so fast. Everyone picks everything up so fast. Everyone, you can be a complete beginner and know nothing on a Monday, and by Sunday you are literally an expert and you're helping to onboard somebody else into the space. So, and just for people who don't know, VC is venture capital. So just want to very lightly touch on what that is.
Of course. So venture capital, essentially what these firms do is they invest in startups. So they have different analysts that essentially are trying to catch the latest trends, and they're trying to figure out, okay, in 10 years, what will be popular and how can we catch these trends now? So, for example, I work for a VC called Curate Fund, and we're very, very focused on tech startups. So a lot of deep tech, and honestly, half the time I don't know what they're on about. No. But I can kind of get a gist of it. And it's honestly such an exciting industry to be in because you're seeing the innovation, I guess, firsthand. And from that experience, I honestly learned so much. One, about just innovation, and two, also how to build a successful startup from an investor's perspective and what actually investors look for, because I think there's so much hesitation around that kind of subject. And when I speak to a lot of women, especially, they almost, like, the number one question is, okay, what do they look for? How can I improve my interview skills to kind of be based for an investor? But it's honestly such an exciting industry to be in.
It honestly is, and I think everything that you've said there, it kind of gave you that foot in the door, really, didn't it? Because you could kind of see, I wouldn't have ever known what a venture capital person was until I actually met you. So it was really interesting to hear that, and especially with you being so young and being and seeing that and being involved in the tech world, I think all the money's in tech. You always see, you watch TV and you think, why have they got £1 million houses? Oh, they're in tech.
Yeah.
It's always something.
They're in NFTs.
They're in NFTs, yeah. They bought it with a picture of an ape. But, but honestly, it is such a new and crazy world. So what actually made you want to create an NFT collection and the project? I mean, I see with this, the NFT isn't as much as it is the kind of image that represents it, it's not the be all and end all of the collection. And what it actually stands for is helping these female entrepreneurs. So why did you want to start an NFT collection, and why was it important to be helping women in business?
Yeah. So I think my inspiration for starting the NFT collection is I really got into the space and I saw the communities that they were building, and I was essentially questioning, okay, this is something that I would love to do. And I was like, I wanted to do something for female entrepreneurs for a while. Like with my experience working at this VC firm, I kind of noticed, I was like, okay, so how many women am I actually interviewing? And then when I break it down, it's probably less than 15% of the time that I'm interviewing women. And I kind of questioned that, and I was like, okay, let me look at the situation a bit more.
Why is the no?
I know. And I guess like there are less women in STEM. It's a very like the reason that women get less funding, it's such a complicated issue to break down. But essentially, I started looking into the statistics of things, and like in 2020, 2.3% of VC funding went to women, and I don't think that can be shouted out enough, because like 2% is a crazy number. And like I said, there are a lot of reasons as to why this is the case, but I wanted to do something about that, because it's just not enough. And the more initiatives, I think, the better. And I think especially in a space like Web3, where there's so much innovation occurring, I want AngelDAO to be at the forefront of that. And I want it to become a brand that I guess female entrepreneurs turn to, where they're like, okay, I need support, I need grants, or, I'm looking for a mentor. I want people to think, okay, let me go to AngelDAO and see what they can help me with. But yeah, I essentially think it's an incredible industry to be in, and to be at the forefront of it is very, very, it's honestly an incredible opportunity.
It is. It's so exciting. And everything that you've said, it's just like, wow. Because honestly, when I was your age, I mean, we all know what I was doing. I was going out every weekend. I was getting drunk. I wasn't even thinking about wanting to provide this for female entrepreneurs, or even having the education to know how to do that. So I've just got to give you a little round of applause, because honestly, it's so inspiring. And I think young people these days, we need to have strong role models. We need to have people that we can look at and say, they've been able to do that. They've been able to get the education, because unfortunately, school doesn't give you all of the tools that you need, and you are taught to work for somebody else,
I agree.
Unfortunately. And nobody teaches you anything about business. And I think what I struggled most with, I came out of Geordie Shore and I thought I was employed by MTV, and I didn't realise until the taxman was knocking on my door 3 years later, and I was actually meant to be self-employed. And I was like, well, nobody told me. I've got nobody in my family who's self-employed. And that was a really, really scary time. Fortunately, I didn't earn much money, but had I have, and I'd had this massive bill, oh my God, what would I have done? Where would I have got that money from? I may have been bankrupt. So everything that you're doing is so important, because I'm sure that even if somebody was to enter the Discord and there's people in there who own businesses, and there's going to be somebody in there who may ask a question, and somebody's going to give them an answer that's actually potentially going to be like a life-saving answer, that they're going to know that, yes, actually, they need to pay this tax, they need to know what capital gains tax is, especially in the world. And I mean, I know nothing about it yet, but we'll get there.
We've got accountants for that.
Oh, amazing. Well, this is what I mean. Even me, I can come into the Discord and I can understand. So I think my next question is, how do we make crypto in general less scary for women? Because I don't know about you, but if I've ever heard crypto, I'm like, oh, that's a man's thing. They know what they're doing, leave them to it. And that is so bad. Like, I'm such a feminist. Why am I not putting myself out there to learn? So, yeah, how do we make it less scary?
I think one of the big things is actually getting more women into this space. I think that's a critical aspect of it. And like exactly what you're doing right now, you're highlighting what crypto is and you're making it digestible. And I think we need more of that. Like we're seeing brands slowly start to transition into Web3 and creating content that, crypto isn't all that bad. Like you have to be careful, but there are so many incredible opportunities in this space. And what I always say to people is like whenever I present at even tech events, And I speak about Angel Alliance and the NFT collection, and half the time I'm answering questions about what is an NFT, how does it work, and this is at tech events, and we can't speak about Web3 and crypto and NFTs enough because it's such an important topic to touch on, and it's going to be huge in the future. Whether we like it or not, the world is transitioning to Web3.
It is.
And we need to be, I guess, educating ourselves, and that is why I absolutely love what you're doing, because you're educating your audience and helping them prepare for this transition. And I think that will be critical because, again, with brands and influencers like yourself, people trust you, whether you realize it or not, because they see your stories every day. They feel like they know you, and we need more of that. We need more Hollies in the world.
Oh, thank you. And you know what? I've worked quite hard these past 2 years to become that reputable person that, you know, I'm not taking any brand deal that's offered to me. I barely do any sponsored posts just because I'm like, none of this resonates to me. So then moving over to the Web3 space and being contacted by yourselves and just having that complete alignment on being able to be in a partnership where I genuinely care about the mission as much as, you know, we may be in this for the short term on paper. In the long term, I'm still going to be there for Angel Alliance. This is going to be something that I'm going to be hopefully onboarding my friends into getting their very, very first NFTs. Because
me too, hopefully it'll work. We'll see.
And it is scary. It is. And I understand that completely. And it's difficult as well because I think a lot of people think, you know, when you'd heard of like the Forex trading and there was a lot of scams going on with that.
Or you see the YouTube adverts like get rich quick in 2 days.
Definitely. And I think it's just about not being that kind of person and to allowing people to understand that actually, yes, there is risk. There's risks when you keep your money in the bank, though. There's risks with absolutely everything. It's just about getting that education. And I think what I'm trying to do with you guys and what you guys are helping me with is to get that complete education so that whatever I say, I know is 100% correct. And finally, I just want to ask, if there was anybody thinking about starting their own NFT collection, what would be your top tips? What would you say to them? Because I know you don't sleep. I know that you get a lion on a Sunday. You get a lion on a Sunday till 11, but that's it.
I mean, it's a lot. And I compare an NFT collection to a startup. So I'm very familiar working with startups. And you don't see what goes on behind, like, say, for example, closed doors. Like, you have a dev, you have the artist, you have the actual team, then you have social media. Like, there is so much going into like one NFT collection. So bit of a pre-warning. It is a lot. It is a lot, and you need a really supportive team around you. But I think the first place to start is, like I say to startups when I speak to them, is find a problem and find a real problem and a pain point that people have. Because if I think NFTs are becoming so like popular nowadays, if you're not finding that direct problem and you're not solving someone's problem, it's going to be hard to compete with everyone else, because it is a business, you know, and you need to be able to compete. And NFTs nowadays, they need utility behind them. It's like you can have artists and the art is absolutely incredible, but if you're building a collection, I think it's important to have value and really being clear on what that value is. So having a mission statement, and then the community aspect of it is community building is so crucial with NFTs. If you don't have a community behind your NFT collection, you're going to really struggle. So you need to, again, understand it. It is a lot. It's very, very rewarding. And understanding your utility and understanding who you're trying to target and how you're going to try and target them.
Definitely. And I think the whole community aspect of it, it's building that community, and you don't just want to shill the product and get everybody into the Discord and have people there that actually they don't care about the movement, they don't care about the message, they're in it for a quick flip. I think that's not the type of people that you're wanting to get, and I think that's brilliant. And I'm hoping that, fingers crossed, we can attract so many entrepreneurs. We can get a long list of people in the directory who is just going to be so helpful for people, even like me, even in the Web2 space. Like, there's so much information that you can take from that. So I'm hoping that people will watch this and understand a little bit more about what Angel Alliance is.
And to anyone listening that doesn't really understand NFTs and the whole, I guess, blockchain and everything, but just start somewhere. Even watching this video, you know, you've learned a lot, and just keep dipping your toes in, and then it will all start to make sense. But don't get put off by all these buzzwords, because there's so much power here, and you have to really understand it. And I guess it's a way of almost distributing wealth again, and it gives like everyone an opportunity. So if you take one thing from this, it's honestly just look into NFTs and the blockchain and crypto, and in a digestible way, though. Don't get put off by it.
So basically, DYOR, which means do your own research.
Do your own research, Dior.
Amazing. Thank you, Maddie.
Thank you so much, Holly.